Here it is, the moment you've all been waiting for. The Maine numbers for August 2022 are out. You've heard the talk that the real estate market is slowing down or even reversing. The only way to know for sure is by looking at the numbers, and they're finally here. Hey, how you doing? If we haven't met, I'm Mike Conners, real estate agent with eXp Realty here in Maine. I'm also a member of the Agent WOLFPAK, a record-breaking group within eXp Realty. No agency, team, or group in the entire world has been able to come close to doing what we're doing. We have literally smashed records worldwide. If you're a licensed real estate agent watching this, or you're thinking about getting your license and want to hop on a quick call with me to learn more info on the group and how you can partner with over 1,100 plus or minus realtors in the WOLFPAK for free with no extra cost or split, you can book directly on my calendar in the description below. So let's take a look at the numbers for August 2022 for the residential real estate market here in the state of Maine. First, the average number of days on market in July was 22.2. In August, that number increased a bit to 27.2, so it took an average of 5 days longer for a house to sell in August compared to July, when it was at its all-time fastest over the last year. So what does this mean? Is the market slowing down? Well, maybe. It certainly could mean that. But if you look back over the last year, property is still selling a lot faster than it was prior to April of 22. So while 5 days longer to sell may seem like a key sign it's slowing down, which it could be, it may just mean there's more inventory on the market. More on that soon. Next up is number of new listings. In July, the number of listings were down from June to 2,589. There were 4,330 active listings in July, which was up from June, and sold listings took a fall slightly from June to July to 1,981. So how did listing numbers look in August? Well, new listings dropped back a bit again to 2,442. But get this, sold listings went up to 2,184. And remember the inventory thing we were talking about a minute ago that I said I'd come back to? Well, active listings bumped up quite a bit to 4,498. Remember, for the better part of the past year, we've been talking about inventory problems. Well, I think that people are finally starting to list their houses. Naturally, if there's more inventory on the market, the inventory that is there will last longer. The whole supply and demand thing. Now, I know if you followed me at all during the last year, you know that I've said that there is not an inventory shortage, just that inventory is moving quickly. But my point is still the same. Regardless if there are more active listings at any given time, the supply is higher, so the demand is lower, meaning the inventory, or houses, are going to sit longer. What is really a key metric here is the number of sold listings. If the market was truly going slower, the number of sold listings would be down too, but they aren't. They're up. In fact, they're the highest they've been since October of 2021. Next up is average list price. In July, the average list price fell back a bit from June to $520,947. In August, the average list price ticked up again to $527,425, and that is up 15.42% from August of 2021. So this again doesn't really indicate a market slowdown, and certainly not indicating a reversal. But like I always say, the average list price is just a cool number to look at. After all, you can list your house for any price you want. That doesn't mean it will sell at that price. A key metric to look at now is the sold to list ratio. By now you should all know what the sold to list ratio is, but for those who are new to my channel, it's the average ratio of sale price to the original list price in a percentage. This ratio shows how the sale prices of properties compared to their original list prices. If the number is below 100%, that indicates that on average properties sold for less than their original list price. If it's above 100%, it indicates that on average properties sold for more. In July, it was 101.5%. So on average, in July, properties sold for more than their list price. In August 2022, the sold to list price ratio was, I'm gonna channel my inner Ryan Seacrest here, and we'll find out in just a second. Now I suppose is a great time to ask you to click that like button and drop a comment. Also, click the subscribe button and the bell icon to get notified when I put out new content. If you find this information helpful, please share it so that others can benefit from it too. If you do all those things, that's like this video, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, and share the video, Mr. Beast will put out a new video doing something absolutely crazy. Probably. So back to sold to list ratio. If the number is above 100%, it means the listing sold for higher than list price, and if it's 100%, it means they sold for less than list price. In August 2022, the sold to list ratio was 99.1. But wait, Did you know that for 7 out of the last 12 months, the number was below 100? That's right, the number was only above 100% for the months of March, April, May, June, and July of 2022. The rest of the past year, it was below. So does this number really signify anything? Yes and no, but as we know, the market has been extremely hot even when this number is below 100%. So what was the average sold price in August? Well, in July it fell back from June a bit to $425,226. In August, it fell back again almost $20,000 to $405,478. Stick around for my thoughts on this in a bit. Wrapping up our dive into the numbers before we hit some critical thinking skills, we'll look at the absorption rate, which is if no new properties were added to the market and sales continued at their current rate, how long would it take to sell all the properties on the market? This number has been increasing month over month since hitting its all-time 12-month low in March of this year, and August was no different at 2.42 months. Again, this number is more of an inventory number. Obviously, if there are more active listings, they're going to take longer to sell. The absorption rate will be higher. So what does this all mean? Well, I think it's still very much a seller's market, and I don't see things reversing or slowing. In fact, if you think more critically than looking at the numbers from one month to the next, and look at the bigger picture, comparing this month's numbers to the same time period last year when we were in a hot, out of control market, in most categories, this year is actually more on fire. The average list price in August of 2022 increased 15.42%. The average sale price increased 6.59%. If the market were reversing or cooling, these numbers would be decreasing from last year, not continuing to go up. But Mike, the number of days on market is increasing, you may say, and this points to slowing down, you may say. Okay, sure, but more than just an increase in number of days on market needs to happen for the market to turn. But let's play devil's advocate for a minute and say that the market is cooling and it is slowing down and it is reversing. Does this mean that the market is crashing? Absolutely not. That just indicates that it may be turning into a buyer's market, and you can still have a really hot market in a buyer's market. So what do you do with all this information? Well, if you're a homeowner who's toying with the idea of selling, you may want to consider doing so sooner than later to take advantage of the higher list and sold prices, as well as the quicker sold time. We can see that the market is already starting to slow down as far as sold time, and if more and more sellers start listing, it's going to continue adding to inventory, and that will lead to slower sale time and maybe also lower prices. Remember, supply dictates demand and demand dictates price. Feel free to reach out to me if you want to discuss more in depth and put together a plan for you, your real estate, and your specific needs. Now, if you're a buyer, you need to first know if you're ready to buy, and there are a few questions you need to ask yourself to determine if you're ready. And those questions are found in this video.